Are we entering a new era where AI can be weaponized to silence dissenting voices? What if algorithms, not evidence, determine who gets to speak and who gets silenced? This isn't just about one scholar. It's about the very foundation of free speech in the digital age. Let's dive into the shocking case at Yale that has everyone talking. Yale University has suspended international law scholar and Palestinian rights advocate Helyeh Doutaghi. The reason? An AI-powered, far-right website, Jewish Onliner, accused her of ties to a group on a U.S. sanctions list. This group is allegedly connected to the advocacy organization Samadown. Doutaghi vehemently denies these accusations, stating that Yale's actions are a blatant act of retaliation against Palestinian solidarity. She believes she's being targeted for speaking the truth about the situation. This raises a critical question. Should a prestigious university like Yale base its decisions on allegations from an AI-driven, far-right website? Let's rewind a bit. Since ChatGPT exploded onto the scene in late 2022, AI has infiltrated almost every aspect of our lives. But these large language models, or LLMs, are not truly intelligent. They're algorithms trained on massive datasets. They are built to mimic intelligence, but they aren't objective truth-tellers. In this case, Jewish Onliner, the website that accused Doutaghi, has been linked to Israeli disinformation campaigns. It uses LLM-powered bots to troll and harass users with opposing viewpoints. The website accused Doutaghi of being a member of Samadown, an organization advocating for Palestinian political prisoners. While Israel considers Samadown a terrorist group, the U.S. does not. This is a crucial distinction. The AI-powered blog pointed to Doutaghi's speaking engagements on panels it claimed were sponsored by Samadown, essentially indicting her as a member. Doutaghi denies being a member. She says she was given only a few hours' notice to attend an interrogation based on these far-right, AI-generated allegations. She was then subjected to online harassment, death threats, and abuse. Shortly after, Yale placed her on leave, revoked her IT access, and banned her from campus. This swift action raises serious concerns about due process and academic freedom. It is also worth mentioning that this case is happening under the shadow of Donald Trump's executive order targeting anti-Semitism, which some see as a way to criminalize pro-Palestinian speech. This is a very slippery slope. This situation isn't isolated. Pro-Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil was recently taken from his Columbia University dorm by ICE agents as part of Secretary of State Marco Rubio's Catch and Revoke campaign. This campaign uses AI to scrub social media for anti-Israel sentiment. Khalil, a legal permanent resident, was detained without formal charges, allegedly in support of Trump's executive orders prohibiting anti-Semitism. This resembles the second Red Scare, where people were targeted for their ideology alone. The difference now? AI is playing a major role. The attorney representing Doutaghi, Eric Lee, also represented Will Lehman in his challenge to the 2022 UW election. He emphasized that Yale's actions clearly violate Doutaghi's rights. Doutaghi herself has spoken out, stating that this is not just about her. It's about silencing dissenting voices and maintaining the hegemony of certain narratives. She sees this as a coordinated attack on free speech, fueled by the government's fear of losing control over the narrative surrounding the conflict. She also highlighted the conflict of interest in Yale's choice of counsel. David Ring, from the firm Wigan & Dana, has a public profile that includes Israel as a service he provides and advises the world's largest aerospace and defense companies. Essentially, he profits from the machinery of war crimes in Palestine. Doutaghi questioned how someone with such a vested interest could conduct a fair interview. Let's break down the AI element here. We are talking about the weaponization of large language models, or LLMs. These models, like GPT-3, GPT-4, or even open-source models like Llama 2, can be used to generate text that mimics human writing. This means they can create convincing, but completely false, narratives. The problem lies in the fact that these models are trained on vast datasets, which can contain biases and inaccuracies. When these biases are amplified and used to target individuals or groups, it can lead to real-world consequences, like what happened to Doutaghi. It's also important to understand the concept of algorithmic bias. This refers to the systematic and repeatable errors in a computer system that create unfair outcomes, such as privileging one arbitrary group of users over others. For example, a study published in Nature Machine Intelligence in 2022, titled Algorithmic Bias Detection and Mitigation: Best Practices and Policies, highlights the challenges of identifying and mitigating these biases in LLMs. Finally, let's consider the hallucination problem with AI. LLMs can sometimes generate completely fabricated information that sounds plausible but is entirely untrue. This is especially dangerous when used in contexts where accuracy is critical, such as in accusations of terrorism or illegal activity. The fact that Yale acted so quickly based on AI-generated claims demonstrates a severe lack of critical thinking. Here's where things get even more complicated. On one side, you have those who argue that Yale had a responsibility to investigate potential ties to a group on a U.S. sanctions list, regardless of the source of the information. They might say that universities have a duty to ensure the safety and security of their campus community. On the other side, you have those who argue that Yale completely failed to uphold due process and academic freedom. They believe that the university should have thoroughly vetted the source of the allegations before taking any action against Doutaghi. They point to the fact that Jewish onliner has been linked to disinformation campaigns and that the U.S. has not designated Samadown as a terrorist organization. To verify these claims, we can look at the reporting from reputable news organizations like the New York Times and Haaretz. We can also examine the official statements from Yale University and the legal documents filed by Doutaghi's attorney. By comparing these different sources, we can get a more complete picture of what happened. The core issue here is the chilling effect this case could have on free speech, especially concerning the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Will scholars and activists now be afraid to speak out for fear of being targeted by AI-powered smear campaigns? Will universities prioritize political expediency over academic freedom? The answer depends on how we respond to this case. We need to demand transparency and accountability from Yale University. We need to push back against the weaponization of AI and the suppression of dissenting voices. We need to protect the right to free speech, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. This isn't just about Helyeh Doutaghi. It's about the future of academic freedom and the integrity of our institutions. The suspension of Helyeh Doutaghi is a chilling reminder of the potential dangers of AI and the importance of protecting free speech. It raises serious questions about due process, academic freedom, and the role of universities in safeguarding dissenting voices. This case could set a dangerous precedent, where AI-powered accusations can lead to swift and unjust punishment. What are your thoughts? Do you think Yale acted appropriately? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analysis of the latest tech news and its impact on society. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and let's work together to protect our fundamental freedoms.